that really just happen? Rebels fans, Star Wars fans, we won. I just finished watching episode 4 of Ahsoka and we got to talk about it. A quick reminder that Ahsoka would not be possible without the hard work of the writers and actors who are currently striking. If you want to learn more and see how you can help support the writers and actors to be paid fairly, click the links in my bio. Oh yeah, and there's going to be spoilers, so if you don't want to be spoiled, make sure you drop a like, follow, but come back after because I want to hear your thoughts. We pick up where we left off in last week's episode, with Ahsoka and Sabine still hiding from Mary Elsbeth, Shin Hati, Marrok, Baylan Skoll, and all the other goons. As Ahsoka and Sabine are still trying to get to the star map before they decipher it. And although they made some progress, there's still a little bit of shakiness between this relationship. And they're still trying to get their ship back up and running, which is when we get this sick shot. There's actually a lot of really cool shots in this episode of this assassin droid lurking. And like I mentioned, Ahsoka still wants to know if she can actually trust Sabine to make the right decisions, which is foreshadowing something that happens in this episode later. But we're not there yet. But where we're at's not too bad because we get Hu Yang fighting an assassin droid, showing him that he doesn't play. His hands are rated E for everyone. That's when Ahsoka and Sabine show up and basically make mincemeat out of all these goons. And you gotta just love any shot where they're just admiring their work. Ahsoka and Sabine then run off while Hu Yang phones Hera to come help. Which is when we cut back to Hera, Jason, and the mass murderer himself, Chopper. As we get one of the biggest cameos of all time in this episode, with Carson Teva a part of a star fleet that Hera has assembled. They are off to Cetos, where currently Mary Elsbeth and Baylan Skoll have discovered the location. When Ahsoka and Sabine run into Shin Hati and Marrok, I love how we get these mirroring over-the-shoulder shots, and you know we about to battle. Ahsoka versus Marrok, and Sabine versus Shin Hati, round 2. Again, we get another beautiful wide shot of Ahsoka and Marrok fighting. And Marrok, however you pronounce it, it don't matter because Ahsoka makes light work of him. And he ends up being a nobody anyway, probably a reanimated corpse from Mary Elsbeth. Sabine and Shin Hati are fighting while this is all going on. And look, I'm telling you right now, if Shin Hati was looking at me like that, would. But Sabine tells Ahsoka to go get the star map and she'll handle Shin Hati. I would say the same thing. You get a nice little face-off between Baylan Skoll and Ahsoka, with Baylan Skoll bringing up Anakin and how he was her mentor. Ahsoka hits him with the, I don't even know who you are, big-timed him. You then get a nice little showdown for the star map, and Baylan plays no games. Shout out to the late, great Ray Stevenson because he put in some work during this episode. Cut back to Sabine and Shin Hati's round 2, and I just had to put this up here because I love this shot. But Sabine gets knocked down and tries to use the Force on Shin Hati. It does nothing and she laughs at her. She says, "You have no power." She says, "I got them fangs on me though." Don't forget she's a Mandalorian. Ahsoka's able to stop the star map, but it's like imbued with magic and it hurts her hand. And Baylan Skoll literally pushes her to the edge. And I thought this shit was so funny, but Shin Hati pulls a Batman and throws a smoke bomb at Sabine. But Sabine shows up and threatens to destroy the star map if he doesn't stop pushing Ahsoka to the edge. To which Baylan Skoll says, "Home run," and knocks Ahsoka off the ledge, Lion King style. And they got to start calling Baylan Skoll the negotiator because Sabine willingly gives up the star map back to him. Because wah, I love Ezra. And then Shin Hati shows up and begins to force choke Sabine. They were insane for giving us this shot, this back shot. Crazy. They get what they need from the star map and then they destroy it. They take Sabine hostage. And as Hera and Carson Teva and the fleet show up, they make the hyperspace jump to Thrawn/Ezra. Rest in peace to all the nameless pilots who died. Don't worry, Carson Teva, Hera, Jason, and Chopper all good. We then cut back to Ahsoka, who seems to be in this weird realm. Maybe it's the place between worlds. And we get it. We get Anakin motherfucking Skywalker. And yes, it's Hayden Christensen looking smooth-faced as ever. But I mean, come on, it's crazy to see him actually show up in live action. As we're finally gonna get this in live action next week though, because this is where the episode ends on this crazy cliffhanger. If I had to guess/pray, I'm hoping there's a conversation had here with Anakin telling her that he eventually turned back to the light. All in all, I'm thoroughly enjoying Ahsoka. I feel like you could have combined last week's episode and this week's episode. They were paced very similarly, a lot of action. But overall, I'm loving it. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and as always, like and follow for more.